Good afternoon, Francesca Canzano-Franklin here from Hong Kong, about to have a wellness chat with the one and only Vivienne Tang, founder and CEO of the luxury travel publication Destination Deluxe. Hello, Vivienne, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast / interview.
I know
Yeah.
it's what interview doesn't quite resonate. We're having a wellness chat.
As well as chat. Yeah. Discussion.
Why not? So this year's Global Wellness Day theme is nature. And I know that just like myself, you are a big nature lover. So my question, a bit different from last year, when it was all about wellness, is how does the element of nature, how do you implement it in your personal lifestyle?
So yeah, as you said, like for me, nature is a big part of wellness. I try to spend time in nature every day. I do feel like, in addition to nutrition, in addition to exercise, nature is really one of the key factors in someone's wellness, in someone's well-being. And yeah, so I think it's really important that we take time. I started running again. So then I picked up running during COVID and then kind of stopped for a bit. And I was really missing it because I didn't like I moved it indoors actually. So I was running on a treadmill, but it's not the same.
No, it's not.
And so,
yeah.
And it's not just the exposure to sunlight, I think. I think it's more about like really being inside and immersing.
So.
And yeah, and I think it's really important that you kind of nurture this relationship that you have with nature. And it sounds a bit cliche, but it really, and maybe I'll tell you a story,
Please.
how my relationship with nature kind of changed, or when it kind of changed. And so then back in the day when we still had the wellness center in Hong Kong, one of our visiting practitioners, he was staying with us. And we were living out on Lama at that point. And so then it was sort of in the middle of the jungle kind of.
Around
and it was, and so this practitioner, he was a shaman. And so then every day he would go for a walk and he would kind of do his ceremonies and rituals and stuff. And this one day it was pouring. Yeah. And so then he put on his like raincoat and I was like, what are you doing? Like, where are you going? And he's like, I'm going for my daily walk. And I was like, what? Like it's really like pouring outside. And he said, yeah, like I have a date with nature.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of stopped and I thought about it and I kind of realized, and he was like, like it doesn't matter if it's sunny or if it's raining. Like this is my time,
Amazing.
that I've kind of put it scheduled, to have nature. And I kind of realized that it was sacred to him, this time. And that really changed how I kind of view just like spending time in nature and kind of soaking up this
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
And I have another story. And that was interestingly, that was around the same time, because I was still working as a fashion editor back then.
Yeah.
And I was interviewing Tom Ford, yeah. And so then he's known to be this sort of perfectionist. Like everything he touches is picture perfect. Like I think, like his PR only gives out like 2 photos of him, and that's what you work with, because it's so controlled.
Wow.
And so then when I interviewed him, he later on told me that like right before I kind of came into the room, he kind of wanted to rearrange the flowers. And so then, there were lilies, and with lilies, like when the pollen kind of falls down, it sort of stains the clothes, the furniture and everything. So he was kind of like scrambling to kind of like tidy up everything and to kind of make it look perfect before I stepped into the room, and he was, you know, like it's a bit OCD, you know, like I also have this sort of OCD
About the aesthetic.
tendency where I want everything to be picture perfect, right? And then in the interview, he also kind of told me that he would go on these sort of 5-day river rafting trips where he doesn't shower for like 5 days. And it's this stark contrast to this sort of very controlled environment
Yeah.
that he normally has. And so then he was like, you know, in nature, everything is perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it doesn't matter where the tree falls, you know, if it's here or there. It's just nature is just perfect in itself.
Numbers.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, right? And so then I kind of thought about that, and I was like, yeah, like that's so true. Like you don't,
Yeah.
nature doesn't have to force anything. Like it's just perfect the way it is. And then if you kind of, if you, if you, if you're able to kind of drop into that, and you can like basically surrender to that, you know what I mean? Then it's sort of, I mean, that's really liberating, because it will just like strip off any of that kind of, you know,
Anxiety,
the
stress.
need
For
that we have all the time to kind of force things.
sure.
And yeah, and I feel like, you know, that's kind of where the magic happened. That's where, I mean, and you can kind of expand beyond that. That's kind of like where you surrender to the universe, I suppose, and where it becomes
Definitely.
like a spiritual experience almost when you're out in nature, you know,
Yeah.
beyond like the normal kind of wellness benefits that you have. It's like a,
Some people, it really is like this. Some people, it's a connection with the spiritual side
yeah,
or the wellness side.
yeah,
No, I'm very much like you. For me, nature is like a
yeah,
pool in a way. You know, it's a way of just
yeah,
unwinding. Yeah. And we live in a very young society. Everything's so fast paced.
yeah,
I love this.
yeah.
It's a beautiful. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah, and so ever since then, I kind of, I don't know, it changed my view,
Yeah.
and so I'm trying to immerse as much as I can in nature,
But you
and
do a wonderful job. Every time I see you, you try and
yeah,
you're active, you're very outdoorsy, you're very
I
adventurous as well. I remember when
I
you were
am. I don't know.
especially during the pandemic, you were inspiring me. You were bicycling some area of Hong Kong that I've been meaning to ask you for a long
That,
time. Where,
yes, that is right. That was like close to the China border. Yeah, that was really that was a bit of an adventure, because we pushed our bike up. It's called Pineapple Mountain, and we pushed our bike up there and rode down. Yeah, that was quite cool.
I remember watching it and like, I must
Yeah.
ask it because that,
Yeah.
you know, but this is the beauty
Yeah.
of Hong Kong as well. There is so much wilderness and green, but
Yeah.
then these areas completely different. And I was like, is she in Hong Kong?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like, you know, like my happiest childhood memory is being out in nature. Like I have this like experience that I sometimes uh think back to. Like I was part of kind of like a Girl Scouts thing, and we would have these like summer camps, and we would go to the Italian speaking part of Switzerland,
Oh,
yeah. And so we had this 2-day hike, and we were supposed to sleep in this lodge like on this like path somewhere, and we couldn't make it to the lodge in time, and so then we ended up sleeping outside under the stars. And we woke up, you know, in the middle of this field surrounded by cows. Like we actually woke up, you know, by the cowbells, and it was the most beautiful experience, you
wow.
know, just being surrounded and so immersed in nature. And, you know, in the morning we drank from the
Yeah.
stream, and
So
it was,
cool.
and I feel like as we get older, we try to kind of recreate some of our like happy childhood memories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I always feel like I'm desperately trying to find, you know, hiking and camping buddies to kind of recreate this experience. Yeah.
Well, next time you're in Hong Kong, which is
Yeah.
soon, go for a hike. You don't have
Right. Yeah.
get each other over on social media, or I love to. Maybe we do Lantau, or maybe you choose, you know.
That would be very, very cool. Yeah, I'd love that.
Thank you. I love your stories. And do you have anything planned with Destination Deluxe, something that?
Yes. So we're expanding kind of our normal awards that we do every year. And so we're doing a whole wellness day with panel discussions and some wellness activities. And then in the evening we'll have the awards. And so it will be semi-outdoors.
Yeah.
So we're doing it at the Salil Hotel Riverside. So we'll be by the river, which is quite nice, and we'll do some wellness activities outside. And yeah,
Setting the
yeah,
idea.
a very resort-like setting in Bangkok, which is quite nice. Yeah,
It is stepping out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't wait. And
Yeah.
in terms of advice, what would you advise to anyone that is looking to improve their health, their well-being, or the connection with nature?
I mean, for me, yeah, so obviously being out in nature, even if you just, like me, like just spending half an hour going for a run, I think that makes a huge difference already. And then a big thing for me in wellness at the moment is sort of emotional wellness and kind of working with the nervous system. That's been huge for me.
Regulation or
it's not just nervous system regulation. Obviously, like being out in nature and doing stuff like that will help sort of regulate the nervous system, but it kind of goes further than that. It's sort of untangling some of the sort of developmental trauma, which is not like they're not like everybody has developmental trauma. It's sort of not like severe trauma, but like just like smaller things that then end up. Sorry?
Yeah. No, I follow you. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, and that end up sort of running our emotional state. It's like it's hard to explain. It's like really subtle.
Yeah.
But it makes a huge difference. And so for a long time, because I was doing all these different, I mean, I've done so many different treatments and learned so many different healing techniques and stuff. And I felt like I reached a plateau.
Yeah.
And I felt like there were certain patterns that I just couldn't move them. I couldn't resolve them.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I started working with the neuroregulation therapists. And yeah, and I've been able to kind of untangle a lot of those knots. That's been really, really fantastic.
This is so beautiful. I think one day you'll have to tell us more. It's so fascinating.
Yeah. And the approach is very similar. It's sort of it's a very hands-off approach where you're, because I'm very action oriented. I'm a doer. So then I have like, my to-do list, and I have to like get things done. And this is sort of the opposite approach. And it's very much kind of like this immersion in nature where you're kind of going, okay, I can relax and I can kind of lean back and let things unfold for you. Where you're kind of like dropping into this space of not having to address anything, not having to shift anything, not having to, and that's actually when things start to decompress and untangle.
Wow.
I mean, it's very sort of,
I'm sure
if I'm just talking about it, it sounds a bit sort of.
No, you've already just taken me to a place, but I'm like, wow, interesting. Because like you been in the industry, you get to try so many treatments and rituals and procedures, and you do reach a level when you like, does your work?
Yeah.
It does, but I think
a lot of it, yeah. And I realized how it's changed. Yeah, my relationships, my like every single interaction that I have with someone has changed and it's improved.
Amazing. Well, we want to know more. After the podcast. Cool.
So I'm learning it now. So then I want to sort of I want to be able to kind of, I don't know,
Offer it
practice it with
from,
my friends, and
I'll be your guinea pig.
maybe not as a profession, but like, but yeah, I want to, because you can also apply some of it in your normal conversations. It's
Sure.
also about how you phrase questions.
Mm,
So you're kind of inviting the other person to
interesting.
self-reflect, and it's really, really cool.
Wow, brilliant. Love it.
Yeah. So then as opposed to me giving advice, you're kind of inviting the other person to sort of discover their own kind of solution, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it all sounds very
No, no,
easy,
no,
but
no, no, no. It sounds extremely
and
fast.
maybe it is easy, actually. Maybe that's the point. So I think sometimes we make it difficult for ourselves. You know, like we feel like, oh, we need to try, and then we need to work really hard to like fix this problem. And instead we could kind of, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta go slow, and sometimes even take a step back, and then you find this magnificent
Yes.
therapies. Or I think it's a lot to do with the practitioners as well, you know, whoever, or the gurus, whoever comes your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well done. I'm looking forward to hear more.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be introducing a lot more on Destination Deluxe. Yeah. Of
Beautiful.
all different techniques, and yeah.
Exciting.
So
And
yeah.
when is Destination Deluxe? End of September, if I'm not mistaken.
It's September 19th. Yeah.
September 19th.
Do it
Okay.
in Bangkok. Yeah. So anyone who wants to join us is welcome. Yeah.
I'll make sure I'll leave all the details in a second on our
Tickets are available online, and people can book, and yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. So we're just working on the panelists. We're just lining everybody up, and yeah.
Exciting. Not long to go now.
Yeah, not long to go. Yes.
Yeah. And in terms of Global Wellness Day, where will you be? Will you be celebrating, and where will you
So
be?
I'll be in Hong Kong. Yeah. So I'm looking very much forward to spending it with you. Yeah. And hopefully
I'm super happy.
we can round up a few more people and do something exciting together. Yeah.
Have an amazing day.
Yeah.
I'll get my palettes ready. So we will be saying yes to Global Wellness Day. For anyone listening, thank you so much. Thank you, Vivienne. And please
Thank you.
my pleasure, always, anytime. And please save the date. Is Saturday, the 8th of June, Global Wellness Day. Thank you, Vivienne. It's been a pleasure as always. See you soon.
Bye.
See you in Hong Kong. Bye.
Yes, you know. Bye.